Howdy SEO Moz fans, welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. This week we're talking about the pitfalls of doing SEO backlink analysis. A lot of people in the SEO field have this idea that, hey, the first thing that I should do when I'm trying to do some link building is see who's ranking in the top 10. I'll do a search for my keyword, I'll check who's ranking number 1, number 2, number 3, who's on that first page of results, and I'm going to look at who's linking to them and try to reverse their backlinks and get a lot of those links for my site, because if they're helping them rank, they must also help me rank. And there are some real dangers, some big pitfalls to this type of link analysis. The first of which is it's very hard to know if links are coming into this, whether they're actually helping the site or not, and whether the links that you're seeing are the ones that are having the most impact. It's also really tough to know whether these sites, particularly a lot of the ones at the top of the results for fairly competitive queries, even if they've been there for 3 to 6 months or 9 months or a year, whether they're using manipulative tactics that in the future are going to be discounted or lose value. And so what I want you to do is, when you do this, yes, definitely go use sources, right? Majestic and Yahoo Site Explorer and Open Site Explorer can all show you some of the links that are pointing to these pages that rank really well. But once you have that data, you need to ask yourself, right? Who is linking to this, and follow some rules. Use this. Imagine me, right? Here I am. Look, I'm a stick figure. I seem to have lost some weight. I've also turned slightly purple or mauve. But imagine me saying there like, wait, before you try and get this link, use the smell test, right? Don't assume that every link is helping that person, that URL rank there. And be very cautious. I would encourage you not to use any tactics that don't have some editorial endorsement behind them. Right? So if you're seeing link wheels or article churning marketing or churn-worthy or churn-style article marketing, that really nasty stuff where someone just publishes a ton of the same article and it's linking back again and again and again. If you're seeing reciprocal link directories on those pages that just have long, long lists of links and they're trading links back and forth. If you see the submit your site for $99 to 3,000 search engines kind of listings, all that junky adds no value, no human being actually says this is a good website, those links in the short term can help some people rank well, but in the long term, they're not going to do anything for you editorial-wise. They're not going to send good traffic. They're not going to be an implicit endorsement for your site. They don't follow any of the good principles of inbound marketing, and therefore, search engines don't really want to count them. So remember, there's going to be a bunch of PhDs working at Google and at Bing trying to discount those links. If you need to rank in the short term and you're a churn and burn spammer and you don't have a really good site and you're just trying to play in the short run, fine, go ahead. But if you're thinking long term and you have a brand website and you're really trying to build up that credibility, you want links that are editorial endorsements. And then I would also caution you against some common SEO wisdom, which is that don't ignore some link sources just because they might not be followed links. There are a lot of good links and good editorial endorsements that do come through nofollow. So you'll often see that, hey, this Wikipedia page is the most common one, but a lot of blog comments that the person might have left, or some good posts that they put up, some good editorial articles that they've written for other people. Maybe those links are nofollowed because people are worried about search engine spam and SEO spam and that kind of stuff. But you know what? A lot of those types of endorsements will send good visits. They are editorial, and they can pass value, either first order effect, maybe, or second order effect, which is almost certainly the case. I'd also check any of those links that are pointing to those top ranking pages. Go make sure that those pages rank well for their keywords, right? You find a page that's linking to the #1 listing and you think, wow, it's a great place to get a link. I don't know, it's going to cost me money, or it's going to cost me a bunch of time, or I'm going to have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it, or I need to recommend some content or build some content to be able to get this link. Before you do that, jump through the earlier, easier hoop of figuring out, does that page that's linking here rank well? What about the other pages it links to? Do they rank? If they rank well for their keywords, oh, maybe this is a good, legitimate page that Google's counting. Maybe it is worth whatever effort that I need to put into it. If not, questionable. I'd worry about that. The second thing that I'd urge you to do when you're doing competitive link research is don't just pay attention to the links themselves. Those matter. They're important. You should. But be ready to think outside the box, right? Check this out. One of the things that I love to do is not just look at the #1 listing, right? The people who have the perfectly optimized title tag, perfectly optimized meta description, perfectly optimized root domain name, right? Exact match keyword domain. Those folks often tend to be spammy, especially if they got like 2 hyphens in there and a .info or that kind of stuff. Even keyword match, as opposed to the big brands. If you see a big brand ranking and they're, oh, hey, I know them, I've heard of them, right? They're a reputable company, and they don't seem to be doing a whole lot of SEO. The whole listing is barely optimized for the keyword. I wonder how they're ranking so well. That's where you want to earn those links. Who links to those guys? That's what I would be checking out. When I do searches and I see that someone's ranking well, but hasn't done a whole lot of on-page, doesn't appear to have done a ton of off-page, like manual link building or link spamming or any of those kinds of things, those are the links that I would be very much checking out. And then I also really like to do this. So this is essentially finding those brands that I think are really good, the brands that are listed in there, and seeing, rather than just who's linking to them, who's mentioning them, who's talking about them, what are the important sources that are citing them, not necessarily with a link or a followed link. And so you can search for the brand name minus site colon their domain name, and click that search, and that'll bring up a bunch of listings of places that talk about that brand. The most important places, in fact, in order, in Google's opinion, of who's talking about that brand. It could be profile pages, social profiles they've got. Maybe you should get those social profiles. Could be tools that they've built, or bloggers they've reached out to, or news articles, or journalists, or forums that are discussing them. All of those places are great places to start doing some inbound marketing, right? You want to participate in those forums. You want to contact those journalists. You want to get the content written that's going to attract those same types of links. Who mentions them is a really big step. If you follow this, the link analysis that you're going to be doing for your SEO is going to be worth a ton more than if you just reverse the backlinks and try to get every one of them. And it's likely going to carry you through in the long term when a lot of these short-term manipulative tactics fall by the wayside. All right, everyone, hope you've enjoyed this edition of Whiteboard Friday. We will see you again next week. Take care.